So today in 5 minutes, I want to show off a really powerful way of making animations using SVGs and React and Claude. So I've installed a tool called Coev, which is something that will edit files in your desktop using Claude. So I've also set up a React app that's spun up here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the URL to the React app, and then I'm going to add it into Coev. This will allow it to see the changes in real time. So I'm going to refresh the page. The next thing I need to do is select the files that it should edit. It should edit app.tsx, app.css, index.css. Now I need to tell it what I want. So I want a nice animation with SVGs. In my head I want a nice animation of the moon orbiting the Earth built with SVGs. The orbit should be elliptical. So I've sent this command. All my files are going to get sent to Claude. Claude will come back with the edits and Coev will apply them to my file system, and I'll see the changes appear here. So just waiting for the edits now. And if there's any bugs or mistakes that it makes, we can ask it to correct it afterwards. So the web app is not appearing here, which is not what we want, but you can see it's come up with this. Let me get that working again. I've missed HTTP. There we go. Now we've got this live update. So that looks okay, but I think I can do better. So I want to have many moons orbiting the Earth, not just one. I think this would make it look a bit nicer. Waiting for those changes to come through again. Before those come through, I might just add all of these to my Git tracking so I can revert if the changes don't work out. I'm quite happy with that change, so I'm going to pull this one in again. So Coev works well with Git tracking. It's one of the benefits of it. So fantastic. We've got these moons orbiting. I want some other features though. I want the moons to leave a trail behind them. We'll see how it goes with this change. Might also ask it to improve the appearance of the Earth a bit because it looks quite wonky. Waiting for this change to come through. Should be any second now. So what it's done there has not really worked. So it might be having a hard time, like it's trying to use SVGs for something that doesn't work that well. So I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to ask, so you can see it's reverted the change. I'm instead going to ask it to improve the Earth. Make the Earth look much more aesthetic. See what work it can do with this. While we're at it, we can look through the changes that it's made. So it's added this, it's constructed the scene out of SVGs, and then it's also mapped over a bunch of moons with different orbits. Great, so I don't know how it's done this, but it's made an entire continent in the Earth, which I think is awesome. So what else do I want to add to this? I think that's a great change, so I'm going to accept it. Trying to think what else would be a good addition to this. How about we add some satellites? Add satellites orbiting Earth to the scene. It should add a bit more detail, which should make it look quite nice, I think. So just waiting for these changes to come through any second now. So it turns out Claude is really good with working with SVGs. It's seen so many millions of SVGs. It knows how to construct these complex scenes out of them. So you can build these animations in like seconds. It's a fantastic trick. Great. That's excellent. I think something else I'd like is to add orbit paths for each of these. Add orbit path rings for the orbit each moon takes. See how it goes with this. In general, it does much better dealing with SVGs than things like HTML Canvas because it's much more structured and there's a lot more code for it. There's a lot less things to get worked up and wiring. You can see the super faint orbit paths, but I want to make them a bit less faint. Sorry for my Australian spelling with the colors. Luckily, Claude is okay with Australian spelling. That's beautiful. I think that's good enough for me to add to my website. Very happy with the result there.